Hello everyone, today I'll be introducing this Echo Dot. So its name is Alexa. The first thing it can do is set alarm. So for example, I will set alarm for 10 seconds. So you just say Alexa, and you can say Alexa, set timer for 10 seconds.
10 seconds, starting now.
So you wait 10 seconds and it rings it. So you can set timer, Alexa, stop. And also you can set alarm. Alexa, set an alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Alarm set for 5 a.m. tomorrow.
So it does a lot of things. So you can ask a second thing it can do is you can ask it things. For example, now the presidential election is the most interesting subject now. So you can ask it, Alexa, which candidate has more chance of...
Here's something I found on the web. According to brainyquote.com, Hillary Clinton, I'm the only candidate which has A.
So sometimes it doesn't understand you. I'll try another way. Alexa, who do you think will win the 2020?
You think you know is by shakedown.
Alexa, who do you think is going to win?
You think you know is by shakedown.
Alexa, who do you think is going to win the presidential 2020 election?
I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you the two candidates in the 2020 presidential race. Incumbent President Donald Trump for the Republican Party and former Vice President Joe Biden for the Democratic Party. The second presidential debate is scheduled for Thursday, October 15, 2020.
So you can ask for all kinds of questions. It's better than a computer to search information because it protects your eye, or doesn't protect it. So you don't have to look at the screen too much. So you can just ask it, and it's the same. So this is connected to your Amazon account. So you can make it read your audiobook in Audible. So Alexa, read me my audiobook.
Getting your selection from Audible. Resuming Latin history for morons.
It's the end of the world. It must be 2012. Run for your life, chingones, cabrones, we're gonna die.
Alexa, stop. And also this is a radio, but it's much smaller than the radio people used in the 19th century something. These are very big. So this thing is very smart. Alexa, tell me the news.
Live from NPR News, I'm Janine Herbst.
So
The U.S. Fifth
very
Circuit
useful.
Court has blocked a
So you
lower
can
court
just
move that would have
ask it to
expanded
read.
Texas voters' access to drop-off sites for mail-in ballots. Andrew Schneider of Houston Public Media says the move comes just days before early voting is set to start in Texas.
So now that
The ruling concerned an order by Governor Greg Abbott last week that limited each of
And
Texas's
you
counties
can-
to
I
a
think
single
you can
drop-off site for mail-in
select
ballots.
the-
On Friday, Judge Robert Pittman issued an injunction
which,
blocking the order, saying it would have made it too
99%
difficult for people to vote, and that
Alexa,
it would have created
play 99.5 radio.
Getting your WCRB 99.5 station from
So
iHeartRadio.
99.5.
That's the voice of the BSO, Ron Della Chiesa, and I'm Brian McCreath at WCRB, an encore broadcast originally
this is
live from Symphony Hall on
24-hour
February 29,
music.
2020.
Music.
And this concert continues with the
music
cello
channel.
concerto by William
So-
Walton with soloist Johannes
so it
Moser.
plays-
To bring it to you, here's Ron.
The concerto was performed for the very first time
Alexa,
right here in
stop.
Symphony Hall in
So
1957.
you can. So this is the live or the radio. You can also listen to music on Amazon Music, I think. So you can also. I think you can do something so it can connect to your iTunes, which is by Apple. So this is by Amazon. Let's see. So I like these the Star Wars theme songs. It's very good. So and also Vivaldi. I will try with Vivaldi first. Alexa, play Vivaldi Four Seasons.
Vivaldi, The Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi, on Amazon Music.
So it plays very smart. So you can just it's better. So you can just say something and it'll do it. But you have to speak clearly because the computers are still learning, and so sometimes they may hear wrong, and so that's natural. Alexa, stop. So now I like to listen, as I said, to the Star Wars theme song and Harry Potter theme song. So I think you can also play the theme song. So I tried one day and it worked. Alexa, play the Star Wars theme song.
Here's Star Wars Theme by the BBC Concert Orchestra on Amazon Music.
So it's Amazon Music. So it has all these. Alexa, play the Harry Potter theme.
Harry Potter Theme by Halloween on Amazon Music.
So these different, so it's very interesting. Alexa, stop. So these four buttons are the controls. So the circle is the dash, is the mute button, and the two plus and minus is the volume button, and the circle is the same thing as if you call Alexa. So you can. I have three these Echo Dots in my house. So there's one in my mom's room and one in the kitchen. So these three are connected, so you can play music with all of them. So you can play in group and they all play the same song. So I'll try. Alexa, play Vivaldi Four Seasons on Everywhere.
Vivaldi, The Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi on Amazon Music, playing on the Everywhere group.
You probably can hear it, but so these two are both playing. So you just say everywhere because these are connected to the phone, so you can control them. Alexa, stop Vivaldi on Everywhere. So it stops, and you can hear that also stop. One thing is same as almost same as this, as it can announce dinner or breakfast or lunch. Alexa, announce dinner is ready.
Announcing.
Announce dinner is ready. So that's it. So they can hear it. So in this, it's not only for these things. It can also play game. Today I tried a game called Investigation. So it's a detective game, and so you can play it with this. So I will demonstrate it in a moment. So there are a lot of games in here, and so it's most are like maybe word games, trivias, and these. So I will demonstrate now. It's probably take 5 to 10 minutes to play this game. Alexa, play the Wayne investigation game.
Welcome to the Wayne investigation. You can
Wayne.
say, resume previous game, or, to start from the beginning, say start new game.
I'll start a new game.
Thanks for joining us on Gotham's
So
WGTV
this
News.
is
Our
the
top
news.
story officials may have found new clues
the
regarding
game.
last year's strange
So
meteor
there
crash
is
in
a murder
Kansas.
and-
We'll have a full report.
And so you're
Also tonight, with the robbery homicide of billionaire industrialist Thomas
detective,
Wayne and his wife
and so
Martha
you're trying
remaining
to,
unsolved, police are
try
now
to
hunting for clues
catch
near the Aragon Theater.
criminal.
In this mystery game, you are the
So it's
one directing the action. You'll play a detective investigating the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents. During the game, you can say repeat options, go back, or skip. For further assistance, say help. When you're ready to begin, say begin.
Begin. So you can choose these options, and they will lead you to a different scene. So here is you walking to the
You arrive
to
at
the
the
crime
crime scene,
scene.
a darkened street under an elevated railway.
So
Stepping under the yellow
it's
police
pretty
street,
interesting.
you pick your way
So
carefully
they tell the
across the
story
wet, trash-strewn
and they
asphalt.
choose the
In the
option,
dim
and they
light,
tell you
past
to
the
do
chalk
somewhere.
outlines of the two bodies, you look down and see a torn movie ticket stub.
So
To the right, you spot a broken string of pearls, and off to the left, in that shallow puddle, is that a spent bullet shell?
Which item would you like to pick up? You can say pearls, ticket, or shell.
shell.
You pick up the shell and
So,
notice a faint
I
etching
have
on the
already
side.
played this.
Gotham
and I'm just
Munitions
adding
Limited.
What would you
First-
like to do?
So
You can say, visit Crime Lab, or visit Gotham Munitions.
visit crime lab.
You swing open the door to the
Some
lab
of you
a little too forcefully, accidentally knocking over a beaker full
So
of blue
some
fluid
of
on a
you
nearby counter.
Your
Dr. Helen
Your
Jackson,
options
your trusted
are-
forensics expert, peers over her glasses at you from her lab table and sighs.
See, this is why we can't have nice things.
You show her the bullet casing. She examines it under a scope.
Haven't seen this one before. I'm afraid I can't help you without more information. Have you tried paying Gotham Munitions a visit? You're the detective, after all.
She has a point.
so it
Try the
doesn't
other
work.
option. Say,
so-
visit Gotham Munitions.
Visit Gotham Munitions. So there are all these different places, and then they use that.
You pull up
kind of
along one
wheel.
of Gotham's most forlorn-looking streets, in a part of town even cops don't like to patrol. Above a gated
So,
storefront, you
seems
spot a
very
faded sign.
Dangerous.
Gotham Munitions Limited. You're greeted at the door by a short, rotund older man with a greasy comb-over. He eyes you suspiciously as he rolls a fat cigar from one corner of his mouth to the other. You
So
flash your
this
badge
is
at
kind
him.
of a mind game.
I thought I
Which
smelled
is-
bacon. How can I
What?
help you, detective?
So
What should we do now? You can say, look around, or show him shell.
I'll show him a shell.
The man examines the bullet shell and raises an eyebrow before clearing his throat.
We haven't made these bullets for years. If you found it somewhere, someone got a hold of a bunch of old ammo, and you're barking up the wrong tree. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta get back to work.
The man ushers you up. You hear the
So
door
that
lock
means-
behind you as you make your way back
That
to your
doesn't
car.
work.
Maybe you're not cut out for this line of work. Ha ha. Try the other option. Say, look around.
So I can look around.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So
Say, look around.
look around.
You begin walking around the bins of ammunition and rifle racks toward the back of the store, where a series of desks face a wall. The short man starts walking after you hurriedly.
Hey, you got a warrant?
Piles of yellowing receipts and file folders litter the desks. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a folder marked Cobblepot. The name rings a bell. Where have you seen it before? You start to pull the folder out from under the pile to take a closer look. The man snatches it away.
You mind telling me what you're looking for, Detective?
Now you remember. There was a story in the papers about a business deal between the Cobblepots and the Waynes that went south. Could the gun store owner be hiding something?
Looks like you've got a decision to make. You can say, get search warrant, or visit Cobblepot.
Visit Cobblepot. Because I've tried this before, you get a search warrant probably too late.
It's a 20-minute drive to the Cobblepot estate, which sits on a hill just on the outskirts of Gotham. You pull up to a circular driveway lined with bird bats. 2 bird sculptures perch astride the front door of the large Tudor mansion. Even the shrubbery has been trimmed into a gaggle of avian shapes. A butler greets you at the door and ushers you inside. A portly man in a tweed jacket puts down his cigarette holder as he rises from an armchair.
Ah, Detective. Pleased to meet you. Tucker Cobblepot. Welcome to our little nest, as my wife likes to call it.
I don't know who he is.
What can I do for you?
The choice is yours. You can say, ask about Wayne's, or ask about gun receipt.
Ask about Wayne's.
Accepting an offer of tea from the butler, you sit across from Cobblepot and explain that you're investigating the Wayne murders and that you'd like to get a sense of the couple from those who knew them best. You see the beginnings of a smile play across Cobblepot's face.
Victims.
Ah, yes. The Waynes. Such a tragedy. A real loss for Gotham. We'll all miss their tireless sanctimony.
Just then you notice someone standing in an open doorway on the other side of the room. A boy, maybe 14 or 15 years old. He's short and portly, with a sharp beak-like nose that casts a dagger of a shadow across his bulbous chin. He's staring at you, an eerie glint in his eye. He holds up a newspaper photo of Thomas Wayne. Cobblepot sees you looking and turns around.
Oswald, I told you not to bother me. Go back downstairs.
The boy slowly rips the photo in half before turning and disappearing down the hall.
What would you like to do? You can say, follow him, or keep talking.
Keep talking.
Cobblepot regains his composure, but you observe a pained look on his face.
My son, he... Well, where were we? Oh, yes.
So
the Waynes. It's no secret I never saw eye to eye with Thomas Wayne. Our families had business dealings over the years, but his instincts were soft, always listening to that wife of his who didn't want him to invest in certain things she thought were bad for the environment or the city. We could have made more money. A lot more money. Money I was hoping to set aside for surgery in Sweden for Oswald's condition. But Wayne was stubborn. He wouldn't go against Martha.
Just then the butler reappears and informs Cobblepot that he has a phone call. As Cobblepot follows the butler into another room, your eyes wander to a small table near the armchair. Neat rectangles of paper appear to contain phone messages, some marked urgent. You scan the names. Roger Elliott, Carmine Falcone, Lionel Luther.
What would you like to do? You can say, look around, or read messages.
Okay, this time, look around.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. You can say, look around, or read messages.
Read the messages.
You start to pick up the pieces of paper, just as Cobblepot returns to the room and catches you red-handed.
Detective, let's stop pretending you're not here to see if I had something to do with the Wayne murders. And let's put your suspicions to rest. I had it in for Thomas Wayne. I even bought a gun a few months ago, thinking I'd scare him into doing things my way. But I didn't end up using it. I was at an Autobahn Society charity ball with my wife when the Waynes were killed, and at least 10 different witnesses can vouch for me. Go ahead and check. Now, I bid you good day. Humboldt, please show the detective out.
You get back in your car. On the drive back to police headquarters, you can't help thinking that Cobblepot still strikes you as suspicious. And you're troubled by his son's strange behavior. But further investigation confirms Cobblepot's alibi. It wasn't him.
Darn. Looks like that's the end of this line of investigation. But don't give up yet. There are other clues to explore. What would you like to do? You can say, return to crime scene, or, if you'd like me to give you a hint, say hint. To quit, say, exit game.
Return to crime scene. So you have to try all these.
In the dim
different
light,
options.
past the chalk outlines of the two bodies, you look down and see a torn movie ticket stub. To the right, you spot a broken string of pearls, and off to the left, in that shallow puddle.
Pearls.
Is that a spent bullet shell?
Which item would you like to pick up? You can say, pearls, ticket, or shell.
Ticket.
You pick up the torn stub and walk the few blocks back to the movie theater, retracing in reverse the Wayne's final steps. You remember from the responding officer's notes that young Bruce was still pretty shaken up about the incident and isn't yet able to talk about it. You wonder if someone else may have seen the killer. Before long, you find yourself in front of the Aragon Theater. The block lettering on the marquee spells out tonight's movie. It's the same one the Waynes saw the night they were killed. The Mask of Zorro. If only some sort of masked avenger had been there to save them, you say to yourself ruefully. You walk into the theater lobby.
What would you like to do? You can say, talk to ticket seller, or talk to usher.
Talk to ticket seller.
You walk past a poster for Excalibur and other upcoming movies until you reach the ticket window. You flash your badge at the woman behind the ticket cage.
That's a very nice badge, detective. But it's still $7.50 for the ticket to the 3 o'clock showing.
You explain that you're not there to see the movie, but rather to ask some questions in relation to a murder investigation. Was she working the night the Waynes were killed? And if so, did she see anyone suspicious hanging around the theater?
Yeah, I was working concessions that night. I remember, because my husband always gets a little excited when I come home smelling like popcorn. Anyway, now that you mention it, there was a weird guy who stayed outside, kept looking in through the doorway. It wasn't the first time I'd seen him. Creepy looking, kind of shifty. Kept his hands in his coat pockets. My friend Mona, who takes tickets at the Opera House, she said she'd seen him there too.
What should we do now? You can say, show her mugshots, or visit opera.
Visit opera.
You drive across town to Gotham's ornate opera hall. Opera goers in gowns and tuxedos are already milling around the lobby before doors open for the evening performance of Strauss's Die Fledermaus. You feel rather underdressed as you make your way to the box office. You approach the window and ask to speak with Mona.
You speaking with her? Who are you?
You flash your badge and tell her why you're there. Was her friend at the movie theater correct? Did Mona see the same creepy guy hanging around the opera house?
Yeah, I've seen him more than once. Mostly just before the opera lets out. He waits outside and looks through the window every few minutes. I called security once, but he disappeared before they could find him. You want to stay and see if he shows up tonight?
You could stay here. But what if the guy decides to show up at the movie theater tonight instead?
A tough decision.
Looks like you've got a decision to make. You can say, stay at opera, or return to movie theater.
Stay at opera.
You park yourself on a marble bench in the lobby. A small plaque by the wall reads, donated by Robbie and Elizabeth Kane.
movie series.
You watch as waves of
He
elegantly
wants to
dressed
take a
couples
break.
parade past you to their
So
seats.
he went to the movie theater. He will be
The doors close, and
arrested.
you begin to hear the orchestra's overture. Die Fledermaus. You barely remember your high school German classes, but doesn't it mean the bat? You ponder this as you nod off to the sound of soaring arias and swelling strings. You awaken to Mona tapping you urgently on the shoulder.
Hey, detective, wake up!
And so
here.
You look over her shoulder to see a man in a black coat with
that's
a
the
knit
guy.
cap pulled low over his forehead. He's
if
just
you
outside the
wait,
lobby, alternately looking at his
going to
watch and
disappear
peering
from
through the glass doors.
People, so you have
The
to
choice
act
is
fast.
yours. You can say, watch and wait, or go talk to him.
Go talk to him.
You make for the
I
door
think
just
that
as the man
actually
peers in
option
again.
is to
Seeing
arrest
you
him.
stride toward him,
Arrest
he
him.
backs off and starts walking quickly down a dark
So
side
he
street
sees
around
you.
the corner from the opera
So
house.
this is the
You
from
break
the
into a trot as you
look
try to
point of
follow
view.
him.
So it's kind of like a story.
You turn the corner, and suddenly he's nowhere in sight. You run halfway
So
down the
this-
block and notice two alleyways, one on either side of the street.
Which alley would you like to take? You can say right or left.
Right. I'll take the right one because the right
You turn right past a closed diner and just catch sight of him at the end of the alley as he turns left. Breathless, you keep after him as you reach the end of the alley yourself. He turns and sees you, then steps out into the gutter to run to another alleyway across the street. He dashes out into the street when you run to the middle of the street and kneel down over him. He's dazed or conscious.
My leg.
cut him. So
As you flip him over to cuff him, a handful of small round objects
that
fall out of his coat
that
pocket.
proves he's
Pearls.
a pearl.
You quickly gather them up into an evidence bag, then turn the man over again.
Still,
You find his wallet in an inside pocket. A driver's license reads, Joe Chill.
What would you like to do? You can say, arrest Joe, or get him to talk.
get him to talk.
You grab him by the collar and demand to know who hired him to kill the Waynes. He tells you he doesn't know any Waynes, and he doesn't answer to anybody, especially not you. You tighten your grip on his collar and tell him you can strike a deal with the DA. He'll serve a reduced
So
sentence if he
position is a
cooperates with the
detective,
investigation.
and that's
If he
very
doesn't,
good.
well, maybe he'll enjoy spending the rest of his life rotting away in a Gotham jail.
I saw them leave the theater. Fancy coats, shiny jewelry. They looked and smelled like money, so I took the opportunity. The husband tried to be a hero and protect his wife. That's when I had to pop him. And her, well, nobody likes to leave witnesses behind. As for the kid, I figured, what harm could he eventually do anyway?
So it was just a random Gotham street crime that ended in tragedy.
Yeah.
You console yourself
so
with
this
the
is the
knowledge
guy.
that another Gotham criminal is in custody. And hopefully it means some justice for the Wayne family. Especially the young boy they left behind. But you can't help wondering, will it make any difference in this crime-ridden city? Who finally can make Gotham safe?
Nice job. I knew you would crack the case. If you haven't explored all 3 clues yet but want to do so, say return to crime scene. Otherwise, you can say exit game.
Exit game.
Thank you for playing the Wayne investigation. Goodbye.
So now you crack the case. So there are 3 objects. Only the ticket work. So I think you should think about the gun seller. He's a bit suspicious. Since with both options, he kicked out of his shop. So now so we can make a towel joke. Alexa, towel joke.
A vampire walks into a bar and orders a Bloody Mary. The bartender says, Mary. Run for it.
Oh, so this is very useful. So that's it. It's a long video. So yeah, thank you very much.